All right. There it goes. Damn. 1,400 people. I love the limit break bar in the top left. Oh, she's wonderful. That man is a gift, I tell you what. That's my boy. Oh, Husky. Amazing. Wow, dude. Got a guy from Remake. She got a voice. Yes, ma'am. Yeah. Yes, ma'am. Oh, man. Oh, Jesus. Zeppla. Oh. Good for her. Top left. That was beautiful. Aww. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. That was beautiful. He did such a great job putting all that together. He did such a great job putting that together. Mr. Alex McCauley, you are a god, sir. You really, really are. That was incredible. That really was. Yeah, he put open submission to the community, and well, let me head back here real quick. There we go. And and that's something I don't really talk about a whole lot. Is I've actually been. Again, I didn't do anything, monumental in it or whatever, and it was something that I was kind of self-conscious about because I was like, I don't really know if I want to do this. I mean, I know I'm going to be in the background and all that, but that is something I don't really talk about a whole lot. Is singing out in public is something I've always been nervous about, even though I was raised by a music major mother, choir director, and I've been a choir boy since middle school, so it's something that I've always been doing. I've been singing with the choir since I was in middle school at my church, and I sang in high school choir together. Me and my high school choir over at Madison Central in the early 2000s, like I mean, we did shit. We did nationals and stuff like that. We went all over the damn place. And that was in my sophomore year in high school that we won nationals that year. And it's something that I've always kind of kept personal and kind of kept off the internet and don't really talk about a whole lot just because it's something personal. It's also something that me and my wife out there, it's something that really helped us bring us together as well, because she's also a choir girl. She sings soprano, and if you couldn't tell, I sing second bass. If you couldn't tell. So, and I always make the joke that when it came to singing in the choir at church, I didn't have a choice because Mother is the choir director at our church. So I didn't have a choice. I always joke about that, but it is something that I've always enjoyed on a personal level, and it's something that means a lot to me. And whenever she makes me sing a solo, I'm always anxious as hell and whatnot, because it's funny. I'm more comfortable behind a camera than I am in front of people physically looking at me, And but yeah, when he put that out, I was like, why not? And the part I sang was the bass part. That was really cool of him to do that. When he put that out, you could do like for men, you could do like an upper tenor part, you could do a second bass part, like Tales of Loss and Fire and Flame. Yeah, that was how it went. So that was the part that I sang for that. So that's just something I've always done. I was anxious as hell. So I was like, oh God, people are gonna see that. Oh shit. But it went a little deeper than that. This is where I'm gonna cry. It went a little deeper than that. Because I'll be up front. 2022 has not been kind to me. And it actually kind of started not long after Walker came out. And this is by no means Walker's fault at all, or 14 for that matter. In fact, 14 and the people that are still in my FC has been one of the things that's kind of kept me going. And Walker came out, I was going through the MSQ and everything, and just everything was going great. It really was. And then, not long after the MSQ was done, that's when Katarina passed away. And she was one of our cats that me and my wife saved off the street back in 2012. And she passed away, and that hit hard. And then not long after that, a very dear friend of mine just parted ways. And then not long after that, me and some close friends of mine had a very bad semi-falling out. And from that, a lot of trust got broken with me personally. Like, from me. A lot of my trust was broken. And we tried to keep things together as best we could. And I was kind of hanging in there, but in some ways, with all of the messages and everything that they had been in Endwalker, and all the emotion that had flown around in Endwalker and everything that hit everybody, it kind of soured it for me. If I'm being for real, it kind of soured it for me. And then Alex McCullough put that thing out, and later, that's later, but and then February rolled around. And then February rolled around, and prior to that, my uncle had passed away, and I wasn't particularly close with him, but the reason it hurt so bad is because, and this is why I've kind of gotten to the point where when it comes to like things like politics, it's like you want to have a discussion is fine. I hate it when people sell their souls for politics and political opinions and shit on Twitter. Because at the end of the day, it ain't worth it. He believed heavily on one side, I believed another. Especially with the stuff that happened on January 6th. And people can say what they want about that. But the video proof of what happened is the video proof of what happened. And it was important. Seeing what an egregious lie can make a mass of people do. And people downplaying it honestly aren't paying attention. Well, unfortunately, he believed differently. And wanted to do something similar to what was happening up in D.C., over near the city he lived. He wanted to go down to where votes were being counted with a gun and all of that. And he told me this on Facebook. He posted about it. And I messaged him saying, "What the hell is wrong with you?" And he and I had a very bad argument. And I had wanted to build some kind of a relationship, because my thing with family has been very destructive since probably about 2008 and even prior to that, and it's not what it was, especially with my extended family. And then I called him a fucking traitor. And that was the last thing I ever said to him. And that guilt hit me so hard. It really did. And then February rolled around, and my wife was out of town, and Dimitri, my cat, had a diabetic crisis. And he was dying in my arms, and I didn't know what to do. I didn't know what was wrong. And I couldn't afford the emergency vet. And I know people shouldn't say, some people have said before that, pets are not the same as people. And I don't believe that for a minute. Because I'd never had that happen to me before. I mean, we've had pets before. But I had never been there when any of them passed away. And also, my parents got those pets. It wasn't mine personally. Because it's different when it's a pet you grow up with. It's different when it's a pet your parents get. And it's different when it's one that you yourself raise. And I loved Katerina to death, but Dimitri was... When we first got him, he was diseased and malnourished. His face was matted shut. First opened his eyes, I was the one he looked at. I'm the one who named him. And I felt so helpless because I couldn't save my boy. And I know they're not here forever. I know that. I know they're not here forever. I know. Jesus. And that just did something to me. And I had spiraled into a place, into a very bad place that I hadn't been since around 2008. And I didn't show it. I tried really hard to mask it. But I had really spiraled into a very bad place. And from that, I made some mistakes. And maybe I wasn't as kind a person as I should have been. But I tried to keep my head up and keep going. And then, the whole time I had also been looking for employment in places. And I've put over 20 plus applications just for something to do extra, just because. And don't get me wrong, I'm not in any kind of financial trouble. I'm not. I just wanted to make a little extra. That was all. Because for about a year now, I've been able to do this, and I am so grateful. I really am. I really am. And I really try not to take this for granted. I am very grateful, and I enjoy what I do. That's why I don't e-beg. I don't. I try to set goals, and I try to work towards those goals and earn those goals, but I am grateful. But getting constantly denied hurt. Especially when the last big job you had was a GameStop store manager and you were fired because they alleged that you fraudulated payroll even though you didn't. And because of that, it's now on your record permanently at that company. And time somebody calls that company, they tell you he fraudulated payroll, and I didn't. And employees screwed up their paycheck, screwed up their clock out time. I attempted to fix it and notified payroll, and then he told them I shorted them, and they took his side. And the real reason they fired me was because I wanted $40K because I was one of their top performing stores, and they didn't want to pay me more, even though they were paying other store managers that had not been near there that long far more than me. And that has always what's the word? Stuck in my craw. And so just getting constantly turned away because of that, and because I'm overqualified, just hurt. And so that made me spiral further. And then I thought something with the post office would work out. Now, I had only been looking into it at that point. I hadn't put in, app or nothing. I was only looking into it at that time. And my previous employer, some people say this was not the right thing to do. Some people did, and I don't know what the right way to go about this was, but I told my former employer that I was looking. Nothing had happened, but that I was looking, because I didn't want something to suddenly happen. And then in the middle of the summer, I would suddenly leave and leave them high and dry. You know what I mean? I've always made the belief of trying to give a heads up if you can. Some people disagree, some people agree. I don't know what the right way. I don't think there was a right way to go about it, to be honest with you. But so I didn't have anything yet. And my former employer decided that was me putting in my 2 weeks. I didn't. And then during the 1 week that I was there, I told her that, I haven't found, nothing's happened yet. I hadn't heard nothing, but I will definitely stay, And then I was told, no, this week, you have 1 week, and then you're out of here. So I was about to be put on my ass. I was about to be put out on my ass, and I didn't even have the thing that I was looking at. And then that Friday, my last day there, and I want to stress this, I had been there for 14 years. I started there when I was 17 years old. I gave that place and that lady my better years. And I just got put out on my ass. So I was already further deep down into a bad place. And I was having trouble keeping my confidence up with how I was running my guild and everything else. And I felt like I wasn't much of a GM or anything like that. Because I felt like I wasn't doing certain things right, and I felt like it was slipping out of my hands. And that same day that my 14 career ended, those same friends that I had a falling out with, we had an even deeper falling out. And I wanted, and it all boiled down to non-communication. It all boiled down to that. There was right and there was wrong on both sides. They went to extremes that they shouldn't have gone to. I didn't speak up sooner than I should have. But because of that, and I hadn't been in this place. Like I said, I haven't been in this place since 2008, mentally speaking. But I wanted to just disappear that night. If you catch my drift. My raid team and the people that were still in my guild and one of my best friends, Con. And people from his guild as well. They stayed up with me all night. They stayed up with me all night. Just to make sure I didn't make a mistake. Or do something I would regret. They have no idea what that meant to me. They have no idea what that meant to me. Because I felt betrayed and hurt. And some of them did too. And my wife knew what happened. And things have been rough there too, but we've improved. We've gotten better. And I'm not going into details about that. But it took about, I want to say it took about maybe 3 days. It took about 3 days for me to get off that couch. Damn it. How dare you make me laugh? Comment. How dare you make me laugh? How dare you? Cyrus, that's kind of you, thank you. That's kind of you, thank you. It took me about 3 days to... Thank you, Dark Shadow Flame. It took me about 3 days to get off that couch. And then when I came back, the people that were still in my FC, and friends of my FC, Demon Kai and his guild, Khan, and their guild over in Balmung, which shows you right there, not everybody in Balmung is weird, because they're not. They came over to our house, which had been cleared out by people that are no longer here. And I've held animosity towards them, but I don't really want to anymore. Because at this point, it is what it is, and I wish them nothing but the best. And I don't know if they'll ever see or hear this. It's fine. But I don't want to move forward holding animosity towards them. Because it is what it is at this point. Because we can't live our lives like that. But they came over, and they helped me and everybody that was still there decorate the house. And they provided things towards the house that had been lost. And that really was like the uplifting that I needed. It really was. And like I said, up until that point, Endwalker had really been soured for me. And then Alex Mokala, on top of all this, Alex Mokala put out a post saying that, the music thing, the community music thing was coming along nicely. And I had forgotten about that. I really did. I had forgotten about that. And I messaged him a while back saying, thank you so much for letting us be a part of this. And he just gave me a short, simple response, but it did mean a lot. I spoke a while back, right before Endwalker came out. I said, I made a video talking about what Shadowbringers meant to me. What Shadowbringers meant to me was breaking out of a bad place and meeting a group of people in a community that was just the complete opposite of what I was used to. And just how home it felt. The part that I wasn't expecting was that even in your own home, conflict can arise. And it did. And it tore some things apart. And even though the expansion's not over, I think I really found out in this last month, this is what Endwalker has meant to me. Good people that have been there in the past, you know, they have left their mark and everything. And you'll always remember them. But the people that are still there matter just as much. And that really manifested in the last month. The people that are still here with me and still moving ahead with me, and the ones that decided to stick around. And it has meant the world to me. And they'll never know, again, that night they stayed up with me, they'll never know how much that meant to me. You, my audience, will never know how much your support and everything else has meant to me either. Like, I can't put that to words. Because doing this in 14 and moving through these last crazy 2 years, especially with, you know, my wife and everything, and how our relationship is strengthened because of having to adapt to life and all that, especially with changes in our world. It put a lot into perspective for me. It really did. And it put a lot into perspective for me to be grateful for what you got. And I am grateful. I really am. I really am. And I think that's a big thing, that what Endwalker has meant to me is just remember to be grateful for what you got. You know? Because there's been a lot of loss. Not just for me, but for a lot of people. And it really kind of showed me that, yeah, life can be fleeting a lot of the times, you know? That really has been the big thing to me is that in this year, is that how fleeting it is, and that things can end just out of nowhere. And you might not be ready for it. But life goes on. Life does go on. And that's the lesson I'm trying to learn from all of this and trying to move forward with, is that life does go on. And so when I watched this video earlier today, that's when it really just kind of came into perspective for me. That's when it all just kind of came together. I was like, you know what? I got friends that give a shit about me. I have a community that, for some reason, enjoys what I do. Apparently they do. There might be something wrong with them. I don't know. But I am grateful. I truly am. I truly am grateful. I really am. Thank y'all.